The 12 Levels of Consciousness, a journey through human experience and manifestation. Introduction. The path to higher consciousness. Consciousness is the lens through which we experience reality. From the moment we are born, we begin a journey through different stages of awareness, perception, and understanding. Some call it spiritual evolution, others see it as psychological development, and modern science explores it through neuroscience and quantum theory. But across traditions, whether in the mystical teachings of Kabbalah, the transcendence of Buddhism, the enlightenment of Gnosticism, or the wisdom of Hermetic philosophy, there is a common thread: consciousness is not static. It expands, evolves, and deepens. In this video, we will explore the 12 levels of consciousness, each representing a distinct way of experiencing reality. These levels influence how we think, feel, interact, and even manifest our desires into the world. We will break them down step by step, using insights from metaphysics, the study of existence beyond the physical world; quantum theory, how consciousness and energy interact at the smallest levels; mysticism, esoteric wisdom from ancient spiritual traditions; Gnosticism, the search for divine knowledge and liberation; Hermeticism, the principles of mind, matter, and manifestation; Kabbalah, the tree of life as a map of consciousness; early Christianity, Christ consciousness and spiritual awakening; paganism, the deep connection between nature and the soul; New Age thought, vibrational frequency, manifestation, and collective awakening; Jungian psychology, archetypes, the unconscious mind, and individuation; Hinduism, chakras, karma, and self-realization; Buddhism, mindfulness, enlightenment, and the illusion of self. Each level will be more than just a theoretical concept. It will be a stage of human experience, a way of perceiving reality, and a step toward mastering the art of manifestation. By the end of this journey, you will not only understand these levels, you will know how to apply them to your own life and elevate your consciousness to new heights. Let's begin. Level 1. Survival consciousness, the foundation of existence. Imagine a newborn child, fresh into the world. At this stage, there is no deep contemplation, no higher awareness, only raw survival. The first level of consciousness is purely instinctual, driven by the need for food, safety, and security. Characteristics of Level 1 consciousness. Perception. The world is seen as a place of danger and need. Emotion. Fear dominates. The need to survive outweighs all else. Interaction. Life is about securing resources, food, shelter, protection. Manifestation. Energy is spent purely on physical survival, not creative or spiritual pursuits. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. In Kabbalah, this level corresponds to Malkut, the physical world, dense, material, and constrained by time and space. It is the realm where spirit manifests into form, where the divine descends into matter. However, without higher awareness, one remains trapped in materialism, unable to see beyond the surface. In Jungian psychology, this is the realm of the Freudian id, the primal force of hunger, desire, and instinct. The ego has not yet developed. There is no self-awareness, only reaction. In Hinduism, this stage aligns with the Muladhara, root chakra, the energy center linked to survival, security, and primal instincts. If imbalanced, it leads to fear, greed, and material obsession. The quantum perspective. Reality is a survival simulation. From a quantum physics standpoint, the first level of consciousness is the most localized state of awareness. It is bound by Newtonian physics, where everything seems solid, separate, and deterministic. At this stage, we are unaware that reality is fluid, that perception shapes experience. However, even at this foundational level, consciousness interacts with energy. Our thoughts, though primitive, still create micro-responses in our environment. The law of attraction is weak here because fear dominates, lowering vibrational frequency. The Clipperdic shadow. The chains of materialism. Every level of consciousness has a shadow, and in Kabbalah, the shadow of Morkut is Nehemoth, the realm of illusions and empty desires. This is the consciousness of those trapped in consumerism, greed, and fear-based survival tactics. People stuck in this level may believe that material wealth is the ultimate goal, unaware of deeper realities. How to evolve from level 1 to level 2. To rise beyond survival consciousness, one must 1. Shift from fear to trust. Recognize that life is more than just survival. 2. Find stability. Develop a healthy foundation, secure home, finances, well-being. 3. Practice mindfulness. Begin to observe emotions rather than react to them. 4. Connect to something greater, spirituality, community, or purpose. When we overcome pure survival mode, we enter the next stage, emotional consciousness, where feelings, desires, and personal identity begin to emerge. Level 2. Emotional consciousness. The realm of desires and duality. The awakening of feelings. Imagine a child growing beyond infancy, beginning to recognize the warmth of love, the sting of rejection, the excitement of discovery, and the pain of loss. This is the transition into the second level of consciousness, emotional consciousness. At this stage, perception expands beyond pure survival. Instead of merely reacting to threats, one begins to feel, to seek pleasure over pain, and to engage with the world based on emotional experiences. This is where the ego first starts to take shape. Instead of being purely instinct-driven, the mind begins to identify with personal wants, attachments, and emotions. However, this stage also introduces duality, love and hate, joy and sorrow, attraction and aversion. Characteristics of Level 2 consciousness. Perception. The world is now seen through emotions rather than pure instinct. Emotion. Pleasure and pain, love and fear, strong emotional reactions define this level. Interaction. Relationships form, but often from a place of need or desire. Manifestation. Emotions drive reality. What one feels, one attracts. This is a powerful stage because emotion is the fuel of manifestation. However, without higher awareness, people remain trapped in reactionary living, ruled by their feelings rather than guiding them. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Yesod, the lunar realm of reflection. In the Tree of Life, Level 2 corresponds to Yesod, the foundation of emotions, dreams, and the subconscious. Yesod is associated with the moon, which reflects rather than generates light. This is symbolic of how emotions are reflections of deeper inner states, rather than ultimate truth. People at this stage often mistake feelings for reality, reacting to life instead of shaping it. Jungian psychology. The rise of the persona. According to Carl Jung, this is where the persona, our social mask, starts to develop. We begin shaping our identity based on how others perceive us. Approval and validation become important, leading to emotional highs and lows. This is also where the shadow self emerges. The parts of us we suppress because they are deemed unacceptable by society. Unhealed emotions at this stage can lead to repression, projection, and internal conflict. Hinduism. The sacral chakra and desire. In Hinduism, this stage aligns with the Svadhisthana, sacral chakra, governing emotions. Pleasure, relationships, and sexuality. This energy center is fluid, like water, symbolizing the flow of feelings and desires. When balanced, this chakra allows for healthy emotional expression. When blocked or overactive, it leads to emotional instability, dependency, or addiction to pleasure. The quantum perspective. Emotion as a frequency. From a quantum standpoint, emotions are vibrational energies that influence how we interact with reality. Fear and sadness emit lower frequencies, while love and joy emit higher ones. The law of attraction operates most powerfully at this level. What we feel, we attract. This is why emotional mastery is key to manifestation. If we are unaware of our emotions, we unconsciously create experiences that match our unresolved feelings. the Clipothic shadow, Nama, and the illusions of lust and manipulation. In Kabbalistic mysticism, the Clipothic counterpart to Yesod is Nama, the force of illusion, seduction, and emotional manipulation. Those trapped in this shadow aspect may be controlled by emotional impulses and addictions, seek validation and pleasure at any cost, use deception or seduction to manipulate others, feel lost in a world of fantasy, illusions, or unfulfilled desires. This is where materialism and emotional codependency take hold. Many people spend lifetimes trapped in this level, mistaking fleeting pleasure for true fulfillment. Evolving from level 2 to level 3, the path to personal power. To ascend from emotional consciousness to the next level, one must begin mastering emotions rather than being ruled by them. 1. Develop self-awareness. Recognize that emotions are responses, not reality. 2. Practice emotional alchemy. Transform fear into courage, anger into action, and sorrow into wisdom. 3. Detach from external validation. Shift from seeking approval to internal stability. 4. Balance the sacral chakra. Engage in healthy creative expression, movement, and self-care. Once emotions are understood rather than controlled by them, the next level of consciousness emerges, one of ego and individual power. Level 3. Ego and personal identity. The rise of self-awareness. The power of I am. Imagine a teenager stepping into their own individuality, rebelling against external authority, and asking, who am I? This marks the third level of consciousness, where one shifts from being emotionally reactive to developing personal power. At this stage, the ego fully forms. One begins to recognize their individual will, separate from external influences. While the ego can be seen as negative in some spiritual teachings, it is actually a necessary step toward higher consciousness. Instead of being ruled by survival, level 1, or emotions, level 2, the conscious self emerges, ready to shape its reality. Characteristics of level 3 consciousness. Perception. The world is seen as something to be conquered or shaped. Emotion. Confidence, ambition, but also pride and potential arrogance. Interaction. Seeking independence, asserting identity, creating personal goals. Manifestation. The will becomes stronger. What one believes, one creates. This is where true manifestation begins because the individual starts to take conscious control over their actions and reality. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Tiferet, the balance of ego and higher self. In Kabbalah, this level corresponds to Tiferet, the sphere of beauty, balance, and self-awareness. This is where ego and divine will begin to integrate. Tiferet is linked to the sun, representing radiance, confidence, and the power of self-expression. Jungian psychology. Individuation begins. Carl Jung described this stage as the start of individuation, the process of becoming one's authentic self. At this level, one starts to differentiate from societal programming and develop a unique sense of identity. Hinduism. The solar plexus chakra, Manipura. In Hindu thought, this level aligns with Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, governing personal power, will, and self-esteem. When activated, one gains confidence, clarity, and a sense of purpose. Moving toward level 4, the path to the heart. The challenge of level 3 is overcoming ego-centered thinking without suppressing individuality. To ascend to level 4, heart consciousness, one must 1. Balance self-will with compassion. Recognize the power of co-creation rather than domination. 2. Transform pride into purpose. Use strength for growth, not control. 3. Integrate the higher self. Begin aligning with a purpose beyond the self. When ego and higher consciousness merge, we enter heart consciousness, the gateway to love, unity, and spiritual awakening. Level 4. Heart consciousness, the gateway to love and unity. The awakening of compassion. Imagine someone who has spent years striving for success, recognition, and personal achievement, only to feel something is missing. The wealth, power, and independence they sought in the previous stage, level 3, ego consciousness, no longer bring fulfillment. Then, a shift occurs. They experience deep love for another, not based on need, but on pure connection. Or perhaps they encounter a moment of overwhelming empathy, realizing the pain of others as if it were their own. This is the awakening of the heart, the transition to level 4, heart consciousness. At this stage, the focus moves beyond the self. Love, kindness, and connection take center stage, and one begins to see all of humanity as interconnected. Characteristics of level 4 consciousness. Perception. The world is no longer just about me. It becomes a shared experience. Emotion. Compassion, gratitude, empathy, and unconditional love. Interaction. Building authentic relationships based on giving, not just receiving. Manifestation. Reality responds to heart-centered intentions, making synchronicities and divine timing more frequent. This is the level where life begins to flow effortlessly because one aligns with a greater harmony. Instead of forcing things through ego and willpower, one trusts the process and lets love guide their path. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Tiferet, the heart of the tree of life. In Kabbalah, level 4 corresponds to Tiferet, the sphere of beauty, balance, and divine love. Positioned at the center of the tree of life, Tiferet is the bridge between the material and the spiritual. It represents the higher self, where ego and divine will merge. Those who reach this level begin to live from a place of divine alignment, experiencing inner peace and purpose. Jungian psychology. The integration of the shadow. In Jungian thought, level 4 marks the beginning of true individuation. One no longer acts out of childhood wounds, unconscious fears, or ego-driven desires. Instead, there is an integration of the shadow, a willingness to embrace both light and dark within the self. At this level, people forgive more easily, because they recognize that all humans carry wounds. Hinduism and Buddhism. The Anahata chakra and compassion. In Hinduism, this level corresponds to the Anahata, heart chakra, associated with unconditional love, healing, and connection. When activated, one feels a sense of unity with all beings. In Buddhism, this is the level of Bodhisattva, the awakened heart, where compassion becomes the driving force of existence. Many spiritual teachers describe this stage as the first true step toward enlightenment. The quantum perspective. The electromagnetic field of the heart. Science now confirms what ancient traditions have long taught. The heart generates a powerful electromagnetic field, larger than that of the brain. The HeartMath Institute has shown that emotions like gratitude, love, and compassion create coherence in this field, leading to greater intuition and synchronicity, a harmonious effect on those around you, an increased ability to manifest from a place of love rather than fear. At this level, manifestation shifts from ego-driven desires to heart-centered creations, attracting experiences that align with one's highest good. The Klipodic shadow. The trap of martyrdom and self-sacrifice. Every level of consciousness has a shadow, and the shadow of heart consciousness is self-sacrificial martyrdom. This manifests as giving to others at the cost of personal well-being, allowing emotional wounds to turn into victimhood, confusing love with attachment, leading to codependency. The shadow of Tiferet is false selflessness, where one believes that suffering for others is the only way to express love. True heart consciousness requires balance, giving without losing oneself. Moving from level 4 to level 5, the power of expression and truth. To evolve from heart consciousness to the next level, one must 1. Love without attachment. Let go of the need for control in relationships. 2. Express emotions openly. Speak from the heart without fear. 3. Balance giving and receiving. True love includes self-care. 4. Trust divine flow. Stop forcing life to happen and allow synchronicity to unfold. Once one masters the heart, the next level emerges, higher thought and expression, where the power of the voice and divine communication awakens. Level 5. Higher thought and expression. the voice of truth. The power of words and creation. Imagine someone who has spent years searching for deeper truth. They have lived through the struggles of survival, the turbulence of emotions, and the challenges of ego. Now, something shifts. They feel an urge to speak their truth, to share wisdom, to create through words, art, and communication. This is the transition to level 5, higher thought and expression, where consciousness expands beyond personal emotions and into universal wisdom. At this stage, people begin to understand the power of words, thoughts, and vibrations. They become more attuned to higher knowledge and start to communicate ideas that uplift and transform. Characteristics of level 5 consciousness. Perception. The world is seen as a place where truth must be expressed. Emotion. A deep sense of clarity, purpose, and conviction. Interaction. Speaking with authenticity, sharing knowledge, and guiding others. Manifestation. Words and thoughts have immense power. What is spoken becomes reality. This is the level of teachers, speakers, artists, and writers, those who feel called to express a greater truth. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Da'at and the hidden knowledge. In Kabbalah, level 5 is linked to Da'at, the realm of hidden knowledge and divine wisdom. It represents direct communication with higher realms and the power to speak reality into existence. Hermeticism. The principle of vibration. In Hermetic thought, this level aligns with the principle that everything is vibration. Words and thoughts create frequencies that shape reality. This is why many traditions emphasize sacred speech, mantras, prayers, affirmations, because sound alters reality at a fundamental level. Hinduism. Vishuddha, throat chakra. In Hindu philosophy, this level corresponds to the throat chakra, Vishuddha, governing expression, authenticity, and divine truth. When open, one speaks with power and wisdom. Moving from level 5 to level 6, the awakening of intuition. To evolve from expression to higher vision, one must 1. Speak with truth and integrity. 2. Use words for healing, not harm. 3. Trust divine wisdom over external approval. 4. Develop inner stillness. Allow intuition to guide speech. Once this level is mastered, the third eye opens, and the journey into intuitive vision and higher perception begins. Level 6. Intuitive vision. Awakening the third eye. The awakening of inner sight. Imagine walking through life believing that only what you see is real. Then, one day, something shifts. You begin to sense things before they happen. You pick up on unspoken thoughts and emotions. Patterns become clear, and coincidences no longer feel random. The world starts to reveal a hidden order, one that has been there all along, waiting to be seen. This marks the transition to level 6, intuitive vision, where consciousness expands beyond the physical and into higher perception. At this stage, the mind awakens to deeper truths, seeing through illusions, deceptions, and false realities. The material world is no longer the only reality. Instead, the interconnected web of energy, thought, and spirit comes into view. Characteristics of level 6 consciousness. Perception. The world is seen through the lens of intuition and insight. Emotion. A sense of inner knowing, heightened awareness, and deep clarity. Interaction. People are understood beyond words, and truth is sensed rather than heard. Manifestation. Reality is shaped through conscious vision and intention. At this level, the unseen forces of life become as real as the physical world. One begins to navigate life through intuition, rather than logic alone. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Chokmah and the wisdom of the divine mind. In Kabbalah, level 6 corresponds to Chokmah, the sphere of divine wisdom and intuitive knowing. Chokmah represents pure insight, the moment when truth is revealed in an instant, beyond analysis. At this level, one moves from rational thinking to direct experience of higher knowledge. Jungian psychology. The archetype of the seer. Carl Jung spoke of the seer archetype, those who have developed a profound ability to see beyond appearances. Jung also described synchronicity as a function of this level. Events that seem coincidental, but are actually meaningful connections guided by higher intelligence. Hinduism. The Ajna, third eye, chakra. In Hindu philosophy, this level aligns with the Ajna, third eye, chakra, governing insight, perception, and higher awareness. When open, the third eye allows one to see beyond physical limitations, receive divine inspiration and vision, perceive the unity of all things. Many spiritual traditions view the third eye as the gateway to enlightenment. The quantum perspective, the observer effect and higher awareness. In quantum physics, the observer effect shows that consciousness influences reality. At level 6, people begin to directly shape their reality through perception. By envisioning a specific outcome, they align with it energetically, increasing the probability of its manifestation. This is why many mystics and sages emphasize visualization. What is truly seen in the mind's eye has the power to become real. The Clipperdic shadow, the illusion of false vision. The shadow side of intuitive consciousness is false sight, misinterpreting visions or falling into delusion. Signs of this include paranoia or conspiracy obsession, seeing connections where none exist, spiritual arrogance, believing oneself to be above others due to intuitive insight, escapism, rejecting the material world in favor of higher realms. True intuition must be balanced with grounded wisdom. Otherwise, one risks losing touch with reality. Moving from level 6 to level 7, the crown of transcendence. To evolve from intuitive vision to divine consciousness, one must 1. Trust intuition but verify with wisdom. 2. Balance inner sight with grounded action. 3. Move beyond ego-driven visions into true spiritual insight. 4. Open to divine consciousness without rejecting physical reality. Once the third eye is fully awakened, the final level emerges, unity with divine mind. Level 7. Divine consciousness, the crown of enlightenment. The awakening of oneness. Imagine a moment of absolute clarity, where the boundaries between self and universe disappear. You no longer feel like a separate being but a part of everything. The ocean, the stars, the trees, the people around you, you are all one consciousness experiencing itself. This is level 7. Divine consciousness, the final stage where the mind merges with universal awareness. At this level, duality dissolves. There is no longer me and you, past and future, good and evil. Instead, everything is seen as a perfect unfolding of divine will. Characteristics of level 7 consciousness. Perception. The world is seen as a seamless expression of divine energy. Emotion. Deep peace, unconditional love, and bliss. Interaction. There is no longer attachment or fear, only presence. Manifestation. Reality is shaped effortlessly because one is fully aligned with divine flow. This is the level of enlightenment, where personal identity dissolves into higher awareness. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Keter, the crown of divine light. In Kabbalah, this level corresponds to Keter, the highest sphere on the tree of life. Keter is pure, undivided consciousness, the source of all creation. Those who reach this level experience total surrender to the divine, living as an instrument of higher will. Buddhism. Nirvana and the end of suffering. In Buddhist thought, this is nirvana, the cessation of suffering through the realization that there is no separate self. Here, one moves beyond attachment, craving, and identity, entering a state of pure being. Hinduism. Sahasrara, crown chakra, and cosmic unity. In Hinduism, this level aligns with Sahasrara, crown chakra, representing infinite consciousness and enlightenment. It is the gateway to the divine, where one experiences pure awareness beyond form and thought. The quantum perspective. The universe as consciousness. At this level, the individual realizes that the entire universe is a single field of awareness. Quantum physicists have suggested that the universe is not just matter but consciousness itself, a concept mirrored in spiritual traditions. Those who reach this stage live in a state of flow, knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect harmony. The Klyptotic shadow. The risk of losing the self. The shadow of divine consciousness is the temptation to dissolve completely. Some may reject life, believing they are beyond human experience. True enlightenment is not leaving the world behind. It is returning fully awakened to serve others. Final transformation. Returning as a guide. At this stage, many feel called to teach, heal, or guide others. This is the path of the Bodhisattva, the Christ, the sage, those who reach enlightenment but choose to remain in the world to uplift others. True consciousness is not about escaping life. It is about becoming fully present in it, with love and awareness. Conclusion. The journey of consciousness. From instinct to emotion, ego to heart, vision to divine awareness. Each level is a step in the great unfolding of consciousness. The journey is not linear. We move back and forth between levels, learning, growing, and expanding. But in the end, all paths lead to the realization of unity, love, and divine perfection. This is the true nature of consciousness, the eternal dance of awareness discovering itself. Level 8. Cosmic consciousness, the awakening of the infinite mind. The shift beyond personal awareness. Imagine standing on the edge of an ocean at night. The waves stretch infinitely into the horizon. The stars above seem endless, and for the first time, you feel something vast moving through you, a force that connects everything. This is the awakening of cosmic consciousness, the realization that your mind is not just yours. It is part of an infinite, universal intelligence. At level 7, one experiences unity with the divine. At level 8, one begins to consciously engage with the vast intelligence of the cosmos, a realm where thought, energy, and consciousness interweave across dimensions. This is the level of mystics, visionaries, and cosmic travelers, those who transcend the personal self and open to the intelligence of the universe itself. Characteristics of Level 8 Consciousness. Perception. The universe is an infinite field of intelligence that can be accessed directly. Emotion. A sense of awe, expansiveness, and interconnected thought. Interaction. One no longer thinks in individual terms but engages with consciousness as a collective phenomenon. Manifestation. Reality is shaped through aligning with cosmic intelligence rather than personal will. At this level, people often experience downloads of profound knowledge, prophetic visions, and an intuitive knowing of universal truths. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Chokmah and the supernal mind. In Kabbalah, this level corresponds to Chokmah, wisdom, in its most expansive form. The primordial intelligence from which all thoughts and ideas emerge. It is the place of divine revelation, where knowledge is received rather than sought. The great sages and prophets often operated at this level, accessing wisdom beyond time and space. Jungian psychology. The collective unconscious. Carl Jung described the collective unconscious, a vast, shared reservoir of human memory, symbols, and archetypes. At cosmic consciousness, one moves beyond personal psychology and begins to tap into universal symbols, myths, and memories that transcend time. Hinduism. Akashic records and universal mind. In Hindu and mystical traditions, this level aligns with the Akashic records, the cosmic archive of all knowledge, past, present, and future. Many mystics describe experiencing visions of ancient civilizations, intergalactic intelligence, or divine messages encoded in light. The quantum perspective. The holographic universe and non-local consciousness. Quantum physics suggests that consciousness is non-local, meaning that our thoughts are not confined to the brain but exist in a field that extends across space-time. At this level, one begins to experience the holographic nature of reality, where all information is accessible beyond the limits of space and time. This is why those at this level often report instant insights, telepathic experiences, and a sense of universal synchronicity. The Klyptotic shadow. The danger of disconnection. The shadow of cosmic consciousness is disconnection from humanity. Some people at this level become so absorbed in cosmic thought that they lose interest in everyday life. Feel alienated from those who have not experienced this level. Develop a sense of spiritual ego, believing they are above others. The key is balance. To embrace cosmic awareness while remaining engaged with the human experience. Moving from level 8 to level 9, multidimensional awareness. To evolve beyond cosmic consciousness, one must 1. Stay grounded. Remain engaged in the human world while expanding awareness. 2. Practice discernment. Not all spiritual visions are true insights. 3. Refine perception. Learn to differentiate between cosmic intelligence and personal projections. 4. Surrender further. Allow higher intelligence to guide rather than control. Once these are mastered, one enters the realm of multidimensional awareness, where time, space, and reality itself begin to dissolve. Level 9. Multidimensional awareness. The dissolution of time and space. The breaking of reality's illusion. Imagine waking up from a dream, only to realize that your entire life was also a dream, a construct of consciousness, unfolding across dimensions. At level 9, one no longer perceives reality as a fixed, linear experience. Instead, one begins to see and navigate multiple dimensions simultaneously. This is the realm of shamans, interdimensional travelers, and near-death experiences. Those who have glimpsed the fluid nature of existence beyond the third dimension. Characteristics of level 9 consciousness. Perception. Time and space are not fixed. They are fluid constructs of consciousness. Emotion. A deep sense of freedom, timelessness, and boundlessness. Interaction. Engaging with multiple timelines, realities, and higher dimensional beings. Manifestation. One creates by navigating different probability paths rather than forcing outcomes. At this stage, people often experience time dilation or acceleration, glimpses of parallel lives and alternate realities, encounters with beings from other dimensions, spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Bina and the architect of reality. In Kabbalah, this level corresponds to Bina, understanding, the realm where the structure of reality is shaped by divine intelligence. Mystics at this level no longer just receive wisdom, chokmah, but actively shape reality through consciousness. Hinduism and Buddhism. The illusion of Maya. Both Hinduism and Buddhism teach that the world is Maya, illusion, a temporary projection of consciousness. At this level, one begins to directly see beyond the illusion, experiencing reality as a fluid dreamscape. Quantum physics. The many worlds interpretation. Quantum mechanics suggests that every choice splits reality into multiple timelines. At multidimensional awareness, one gains the ability to shift between these timelines, choosing different realities through conscious intent. The Clipperdic shadow. Losing grip on reality. The shadow of multidimensional awareness is detachment from the physical world. Some at this level struggle to maintain a sense of personal identity, become lost in fragmented realities and visions, feel overwhelmed by the vastness of perception. The key is stability, learning to navigate multiple dimensions without losing the present moment. Moving from level 9 to level 10, divine embodiment. To move beyond multidimensional awareness, one must 1. Integrate multiple realities into a coherent self. 2. Stay present while engaging with higher dimensions. 3. Balance expanded perception with practical wisdom. 4. Step into conscious co-creation. Not just experiencing dimensions, but shaping them. Once mastered, one enters level 10, divine embodiment, where the infinite meets the physical. Level 10, divine embodiment, becoming a vessel for higher consciousness. The fusion of heaven and earth. At this stage, something profound happens. No longer is higher consciousness something to be reached, glimpsed, or temporarily experienced. Instead, it fully descends into the body, becoming an inseparable part of everyday life. This is divine embodiment, the state where an individual no longer sees themselves as separate from source. Instead, they become a living bridge between dimensions, allowing higher intelligence to flow through them, into the world. At this level, one does not just Perceive the divine above but within. In the breath, in the cells, in every interaction. Life itself becomes a sacred expression of cosmic intelligence. This is the realm of avatars, spiritual masters, enlightened teachers, and divine messengers. Characteristics of level 10 consciousness. Perception. The divine is not out there, but fully embodied in human form. Emotion. A deep, unwavering sense of peace, presence, and inner power. Interaction. One moves through life as a conscious co-creator rather than a passive participant. Manifestation. Reality responds effortlessly because one embodies divine will. At this stage, people no longer struggle with duality. There is no battle between the material and the spiritual, because they have become one. Spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Tiferet. The perfected self. In Kabbalah, this level corresponds to Tiferet, beauty, the state of divine harmony within the human vessel. It represents the integration of divine energy into human consciousness, where the soul radiates pure, unconditional love and wisdom. Hinduism. The state of a Jivanmukta. In Hinduism, this state is called Jivanmukti, liberation while still in the body. Unlike earlier stages, where enlightenment is a fleeting experience, at this level, it is fully stabilized. One moves through the world with effortless grace, unshaken by suffering or illusion. Christian mysticism. The Christed state. In Christian mysticism, this corresponds to the state of Christ consciousness, where the individual fully embodies divine love, wisdom, and power, walking the earth as an extension of the divine. This is why Christ, Krishna, and Buddha are seen not just as figures of worship but as templates of divine embodiment. The quantum perspective. The observer becomes the creator. Quantum physics teaches that the observer affects reality. But at this level, one moves from simply observing to consciously shaping existence. By aligning with divine will, one effortlessly influences the quantum field, creating synchronicities, miracles, and spontaneous manifestations. This is the power of divine embodiment, becoming a conduit for creation itself. The Klipothic shadow. Spiritual power without integrity. The shadow of divine embodiment is misusing spiritual power. At this level, one must be extremely careful. When higher consciousness merges with the body, there is a temptation to manipulate reality for personal gain, control others under the illusion of divine authority, lose humility, believing oneself to be infallible. True divine embodiment is not about power over others. It is about power through surrender to the divine. Moving from level 10 to level 11. The merging of the soul with the infinite. To evolve from divine embodiment to transcendent consciousness, one must 1. Let go of all remaining personal attachments. 2. Surrender fully to divine will without resistance. 3. Embrace the dissolution of individual self into the infinite. 4. Prepare for the final stage, the complete merging of consciousness with source. Once this happens, one enters level 11, the infinite mind, where the individual dissolves into universal intelligence. Level 11. The infinite mind, returning to source while remaining in form. The dissolution of self into universal awareness. At level 11, personal identity dissolves completely, not in a way that causes confusion or loss, but in a way that reveals the vastness of true being. Here, one no longer perceives reality from the perspective of the individual self but as the entire universe observing itself. This is the great liberation. The realization that there was never a separate self to begin with. The veil lifts, and what remains is pure, infinite awareness. Characteristics of level 11 consciousness. Perception. Awareness is no longer tied to an individual point. It becomes infinite and omnipresent. Emotion. A state beyond emotion. Pure peace, bliss, and being. Interaction. There is no more self to interact. One exists as pure consciousness. Manifestation. Reality is no longer created. It simply unfolds effortlessly. At this level, the last remnants of ego, identity, and duality dissolve, leaving only pure unity with existence. spiritual and psychological perspectives. Kabbalah. Keter, the crown of pure being. This level corresponds to Keter, the crown, in Kabbalah, the highest aspect of divine consciousness. Here, one becomes one with the divine source itself, beyond all form and limitation. Buddhism. Sunyata, the great emptiness. In Buddhism, this is sunyata, the realization that all things are empty of inherent self-existence. It is not nihilism, but rather the realization that everything is an expression of the one consciousness. Hinduism. Brahman, the absolute reality. In Vedanta philosophy, this is the final merging with Brahman, the absolute, formless consciousness that underlies all existence. There is no longer an observer and the observed. There is only being. The quantum perspective. The unified field. Physics now suggests that all things emerge from a single unified field. A vast ocean of infinite energy and consciousness. At this level, one directly experiences this oneness, not as a concept, but as reality itself. The Klipodic shadow. The temptation to disappear. The shadow of this level is the temptation to leave physical existence entirely. Many who reach this state feel no need to remain in the world. They wish to merge fully with the infinite. But there is one final level beyond this. Moving from level 11 to level 12. The divine return. The final step is the willing choice to return to existence, not for oneself, but for others. Here, the individual fully merges with Source, yet chooses to remain embodied, serving as a guide for all beings. This is level 12, the Master's Path, the final stage of awakened consciousness. Next, level 12, the Master's Path. In level 12, the journey comes full circle. The awakened being chooses to return, not as an individual, but as a pure embodiment of divine will. This is the state of bodhisattvas, ascended masters, and the highest spiritual guides. I'll now expand on level 12, bringing everything together into the final transformation. Level 12, the Master's Path, the return to guide humanity. The final transformation, becoming a living bridge between realms. At level 11, the individual dissolves into infinite consciousness, merging completely with the Source. There is nothing left to attain, nothing left to seek, only the pure, formless presence of absolute awareness. But then, something extraordinary happens. Instead of vanishing into the cosmic void, a choice emerges, a choice that defines the true Master's Path. This choice is not made out of personal desire, for by this stage, personal identity has dissolved. Instead, it is a call from the very heart of creation, a call to return. Not for oneself, not to achieve anything further, but for all beings still finding their way home. This is the final transformation. The moment when a being who has transcended all limitation chooses to return to form not as an individual, but as a vessel of pure divine presence. The path of the Bodhisattva and Ascended Master. In many traditions, this is the level of Bodhisattvas, avatars, and Ascended Masters, those who have reached ultimate liberation but choose to remain in the world to guide others. In Mahayana Buddhism, a Bodhisattva is one who attains enlightenment but vows to return until all beings are free. In Hinduism, avatars like Krishna and Rama return to restore balance. In Christianity, this is the state of Christ consciousness, where one walks the earth fully embodying divine love. In Kabbalah, it corresponds to the Tikkun Olam, the repair of the world, where one works to bring divine light into creation. This final level is not about leaving the world but about serving as a guide to those still navigating it. Characteristics of level 12 consciousness. Perception. There is no longer a self moving through time. There is only the divine presence working through form. Emotion. A profound sense of compassion, patience, and love for all beings. Interaction. Every moment, every encounter, becomes a direct transmission of awakening to those still seeking. Manifestation. Reality shapes itself around the divine intention of service, rather than personal will. At this stage, the individual moves through life, as if guided by an unseen force, because they no longer operate from ego, but from the highest divine flow. The Master's presence. Effortless being, effortless guidance. A master at this level no longer teaches in the traditional sense. Instead, their very presence becomes a catalyst for transformation. People who come into contact with them awaken simply by being near them. Why? Because their consciousness radiates the vibration of the infinite, creating a ripple effect in those still seeking truth. This is why the greatest spiritual teachers, Buddha, Jesus, Lao Tzu, Ramana Maharshi, did not preach complex philosophies. Their presence alone was enough to awaken thousands. At this level, the Master does not seek followers. They do not seek recognition. They do not seek anything at all. They simply are. And in their being, others remember the truth they have always known but forgotten. The clipperdic shadow. The subtle temptations of power. Even at this highest level, there is still a shadow. The danger of subtle spiritual attachment. Some who reach this state may become attached to being a teacher, feeling they must save others. Cling to their spiritual identity, subtly recreating ego. Fall into the illusion of specialness, forgetting that all beings are already divine. The true Master walks invisibly, leaving no trace, needing no recognition. They guide not through authority but through unconditional presence. The quantum perspective, becoming a living portal for higher dimensions. In quantum physics, energy fields can affect others simply by existing within proximity. At this level, the Master becomes a conscious field of divine presence, influencing reality simply by being. Science is beginning to recognize that the human energy field can extend beyond the body and affect those around it. This explains why great masters have a tangible presence that shifts consciousness, because their frequency has reached a state of pure coherence with the divine field. The final choice, leaving or staying. At this point, the awakened being has one final choice: to leave the cycle of existence entirely, merging fully with Source. To remain as a hidden guide, working quietly behind the scenes. To return consciously, continuing to walk among humanity as a living vessel of divine wisdom. Some beings leave, dissolving into the infinite. Some remain as spiritual guides, assisting from higher realms. And some return, not as individuals, but as pure presence in human form. These are the beings who shape the evolution of consciousness throughout history. The journey comes full circle, the return to level 1. And yet, the greatest secret of all is this: level 12 is not the end. It is the beginning, for once the cycle is complete, the Master returns once more to the world, appearing as an ordinary being. They walk among humanity with no need to be recognized. They may be a teacher. They may be a scientist. They may be a simple wanderer. But wherever they go, they plant the seeds of awakening. And so the cycle begins again, until all beings remember who they truly are. Final reflections. The 12 levels as a sacred map. The 12 levels of consciousness are not just stages of evolution. They are a sacred map, a path that every soul walks, whether in this lifetime or across many. Some will move through these levels quickly. Some will take lifetimes. Some will pause, struggle, and resist. But in the end, all will return to Source. Because this journey is not just your journey. It is the journey of consciousness itself, waking up to its own infinite nature. And that is the greatest mystery of all. Thanks for watching this very intensive video. We hope you found the information and knowledge embedded in the video very insightful and life-changing.